Okay. Hello, everybody. I hope we are live on YouTube. If anyone is here, I don't think this is the original link to the live. This first time. I think it's the first time ever I'm coming live on YouTube, but that's what Sacred Geometry called for. So I'm here with it. If anyone is here live, let me know. Let me see if I can get someone to send out a link on MailChimp for the new link. Let me just one moment. Okay, let's see if that's possible. If not, does not matter. You can catch the recording of this. I just want to make sure I am live because we've got some gold for you today. Okay, I just want someone to tell me I'm live. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to switch off. I've got some WhatsApp going here. I don't want WhatsApp going, so we want some peace as we be with this today. If you are here live, hello, hello. This is Anita inside of Liberate Me. We are here with the Solstice Creation Activation reading. So excuse me, my eyes are going all over the place at the moment because I'm just checking on a few things. So we have the tech set up. You can tell tech is not my jam. So today we're going to talk about the solstice, and it's a creation by soul design activation reading by your sacred geometry. If you don't know what that is, you have an individual soul design signature and you have a macro sacred geometry that we work with bespoke to you. Okay, don't worry too much about that. This will still serve you in every way. We're going to go into 5 things. Actually, it's probably going to be more than 5 things if I'm honest, that you require to know to utilize this acceleration energy into what you desire or even better. That's essentially what we're doing today. And I'm hoping you can see this. I'm not monitoring the live chat that much. I know we had Abby here earlier. If you see this, Abby, let me know. And my husband has just told me he can see me live. So I'm going to presume that it's working. And otherwise, you can catch the recording and we can take it from there. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think he is going to send the link out on MailChimp just in case anyone wants to join live, because there's always a lot of beauty in live activating. So this is Anita reporting in from Nashville, Tennessee, in the US, traveling around and coming to you with this solstice reading and activation. Okay, so apologies for the not jumping straight in, and there's 3.27 seconds, so we will put in the notes to jump to this point or edit it out or something. Right, let's get going. So this is a solstice creation activation energetic influences, okay, that you require to know, right, that are unfolding right now. They're very potent, very exciting. We have our sacred geometry micro soul design signature, bespoke, one of a kind to you. If you don't have that, you can ping, send a comment, send a message. We'll put the Instagram link here, the WhatsApp link, so there's ways to get in contact for that. And then there is the macro sacred geometry that we utilize inside of this solstice. So there's many different elements moving in this. So the key creation activation events and is really around everything that you have experienced this year thus far, okay? And what it's been is a constant rhythm where there's a cosmic frequency in your sacred geometry, a higher light, if you like, that pours into you with conscious awareness, okay, to give you awareness. So you are able at this point to claim those points in your sacred geometry, okay? And what are these points? They are points of creation. Okay, so points of creation. And they are very powerful in the cosmic energies, if you like, to open, and they're opening up at this time in the solstice. Okay. And so this adds a lot of powerful energy to recollaborate, to harmonize, okay, with your state of being, your true state of being, which is in your sacred geometry soul design signature, and with your what we call your sacred geometry reality world in the unseen, where everything is created, pre-mapped, sort of in parallel. Okay, so it's already created, it's already happened, if you like. And now you're going to be able to collaborate with that and harmonize that. Okay, you're going to get into a state of bliss with that. Okay, so you're going to be able to ride the waves that are here for you, essentially. Okay. So what is important here is to understand that recollaboration, that harmonizing, okay, that riding the waves, and it activates now, and it's going to last. Time's a bit of an illusion, but it is going to last for the next 6 months in terms of everything it's going to bring in. But it's very immediate in terms of what it wants to bring in. Okay, right? So it's about riding those waves. Okay. Of the direction of light that is in your sacred geometry, bespoke to you, and it's a new phase of creation ascension for what you desire, or even better. Now, how do you activate that? You activate that by living in reciprocation with sacred geometry sources. They deliver on your behalf. Now, it doesn't just hand things over to you, the universe, contrary to popular belief. Okay. What happens here is that we reciprocate, okay, from our micro sacred geometry from the inside, and our macro sacred geometry on the outside. And in reciprocation, we hold hands with that. And with that, it delivers what is pre-created for you, what is yours to have, what is soul designed for you. And what you've got here is a big acceleration point, okay? And please take notes. Please write things down. Get all your downloads. Feel free to share them either in the comments with me personally, wherever you are. And any questions that you have, you can reach out with those. You can put them in the comments. This is the first time I'm doing a live on YouTube. So if I don't see them, we'll get back to them later. Okay. So it's a beautiful acceleration point. If you are coming into reciprocation with your individual sacred geometry sources, you can utilize these wider sources to deliver on your behalf, okay, for what is pre-created in your purpose of being here. Okay, because you do have a purpose of being here. You are a miracle. Okay, by getting into your being. Okay, so you want to get into your being. We're human beings, not human doings. Okay, so we've been doing a lot in the old paradigm, and we're going to talk today about the old paradigm. Okay, the logic, the creation from logic, pushing, making things happen, strategy, that kind of paradigm that we all know. Go to school, go to college, get married, work hard, all the logic, all of that. That's dying or dead for a lot of those that are already awake and not asleep in that old paradigm. That doesn't mean that world doesn't work anymore, but the way we're being with it requires to be different, unorthodox, if you like, from what we were taught in the old paradigm. And that shifted to more of the awake or the woke, even the woke movement. Okay. But there's another divide coming, which is really important, which is the awake in the new paradigm. There's an awake in the old paradigm, which is all comfort and holding on to the old ways of creation or manifesting. I don't use that word for very specific reason, because manifesting is very similar to the old paradigm. It's making it happen, or it's wishing for it to just to drop on your lap without any reciprocation. It's very generic. It is not bespoke to you and your one-of-a-kind soul design signature, your sacred geometry reality world and the unseen. We all have one each, okay? And the sacred geometry that's moving between those 2 points, okay? So it's about coming into the purpose of your being. Okay. So feeling into what is the purpose of my being? Who am I here to be? Okay. Your sacred geometry signature gives you these answers. The answers, all of this is pre-created. It's all inside of there. It's all here to be revealed to you, okay, with you working in unison and reciprocation with it. So it's pretty cool in that way, okay? So this particular solstice is a powerful acceleration point, okay? And in Liberate Me, I'm all about acceleration and moving things forward, not rushing, but slowing down to speed up because it's already created. And if we can get it out of its way and into our beings, it can come into a point, an acceleration point of awakening and a creation point. So that is very potent and bespoke to you, okay? So you do not want to bypass this one. We bypass many creation points, but it's okay. You can't really miss it because you're always going to get what you're required to get what you desire, which isn't always fun because it's negative, challenging situations, feelings, or circumstances coming in because your soul design loves you and you're here with a purpose to your being of who you're here to be. And really, you just need to step in to who you're here to be and everything starts to activate, okay? Into your physical experience, the one we can see with our eyes, from the one we can't see with our eyes necessarily, unless you have your sacred geometry lens in. And we can give you that sacred geometry lens by giving you your one of a kind signature. And a creation by soul design activation reading is something we do complimentary at the moment. Okay, that can give you that sight into that and how you get to activate that hand in hand to bring it into fruition in to your physical world where you can see it and experience it and realize your potential. Okay, most of us are living 0 to 5% of our potential because we're not in our human being, we're not being in our purpose of being and utilizing our sacred geometry micro and macro effectively to bring in the rest of the 95% of our potential that wants to realize itself for us into our physical world where we can experience because we're trying to make it happen because we're being human doings instead. Okay, so this particular solstice, like I say, has a very powerful acceleration point, an awakening, a creation point. So you do not want to pass this one. This is why I've come on today because it's too exciting to pass this one up and not pass these messages on. Okay, so due to a number of factors, celestial, esoterical, sacred geometry. What's happening right now in the solstice, if you like, is the earth plane is being bathed in a higher cosmic frequency. But these sacred geometry frequencies are very bespoke to you in what they're bathing onto your micro sacred geometry and how to utilize that. So it's like a cosmic stargate because you are a star, believe it or not. And yet a superstar. We are actually stars, okay? And we're connected in this way. We see ourselves as human beings, doings, and we don't see ourselves as part of this cosmic frequency and this solar light and this solstice, but we're actually part of it, okay? And this is the cosmic stargate in that macro sacred geometry connected to your micro sacred geometry. And what that is doing right now is opening doors for you, opening doors for us on earth, inside of us individual sacred geometry. So right now you have a moment to be intentional. Okay, what are the doors that you wish would open for you right now? Write them down, put them in the notes. What are those doors that you wish would open for you right now? And it just comes in, right? It comes towards you. Whatever that is that you're desiring, feel into that, put it in the comments, write it down for sure, at least feel it to start activating that intention. Also, who do you want to be with that? What do you want to enjoy about that? What's one thing you require to do to have in reciprocation to have that activate as well, right? Remember, this is a partnership, okay? So we want to work in partnership, as is everything in life, because everything in life and activation of creation is love. So everything is a relationship. Okay. So we have to be in relationship with it. So what are those doors you want to open? Number one, okay, for you inside of the on Earth, on this planet that we can see, and it's already pre-created inside of your individual sacred geometry signature for you to see and download the cosmic activations, the information, the instructions, the clarity, the acceleration that is bespoke to you. Okay. And inside to Liberate Me, of course, we have your personal guide and activation to that matrix to see it for you, because that's my purpose of my being, my soul design, IP mission, my gift that was given to me in my sacred geometry, and also to self-activate that in you so you can start seeing it, okay? And understanding the levels of your being and your sacred geometry to start having incredible acceleration happening of what you desire. This is where you get to skip steps, okay? Because we are the creators. It's in us. We're stars. Okay. We are the creators. You are a star. Write that down, right? Right? A star. Really feel that deeply. And it is that is pouring into the earth and into you individually, if seen, if utilized, to bring in what we call key sacred geometry sites inside of your sacred geometry, micro and macro, points and nodes in your sacred geometry matrix grid. Okay, the micro inside of you to the macro outside of us. Okay, but that connects to us specifically, and that opens up an energetic pathway, vortex or tunnel, whatever you like, okay, that is pre-mapped in your sacred geometry reality world, in the unseen but very, very real, of what you desire, or even better, or something else entirely, okay, that will blow your mind, that is for you to flow in. You will like it. It will not be bad. It's just about opening up to receive it. So you get to tap into this now too, in very specific ways to you, okay, very specific ways to you. That's important, to allow this cosmos, this starlight energy that is actually you, because it's a collective effort here, coming into who you are here to be. So the energy here, there's a activator, creation activator, okay, that means something you can embody, okay, for this to start to work with you, for you, through you, together with it in reciprocation. So the energy right now around visiting key ley lines, if you like, in your sacred geometry sites inside of you, okay? So being investigative on the inside and the outside is important. And that doesn't mean that you need to be connected physically to sacred geometry sites in the world. Okay, if you can, beautiful, be there too. But it's more important to go inside of you and your sacred geometry sources that you can't see. You can have access to them, though it means the sites inside of you, okay, and are connected to you on and those that are connected to you on a macro can open up to it in a very specific way to receive now precisely what is there for you, to allow yourself to receive what it has to reveal to you. So it has a lot to reveal to you right now. So another question for you to be in reciprocation with this. Number one was, what doors would I love to be opened up to me in this solstice creation activation energy with my reciprocation in my sacred geometry? What doors would I like to be open? Next question for you is around what would I love to have revealed to me right now from my sacred geometry? What answers, what clarity, what way of being do I want revealed to me? Okay, bravery, courage, choosing love, whatever it is to you, put it in the comments or write it down, whatever feels good to you. Okay, share it. If you're a client of Liberate Me, we can go deeper in some of these things if you have downloads. Okay, depending which level you're in. Okay, if you're new here, be with it, comment, get in touch, get your sacred geometry soul design signature. You're reading, this is such a potent time to get it. There may be a bit of a waiting list because it's complimentary at the moment, because we want you to be able to experience this before you step into the full experience of this, because really there's nothing else like it that I know of on the planet at the moment, because it's the awake new paradigm, not the awake old paradigm. We will get to that and what that is. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of water. Okay, so there is a very specific way to receive precisely what's there for you, mapped for you, created for you, predestined, if you like, for you. And it has things to reveal to you. So, what do you want revealed to you? Okay. What knowledge, what wisdom, what discernment are you wishing to bring in right now? Okay. Write that down. Right. At least think it, at least feel it. Put it in the comments, share it. The more layers that you can do that, the more you're reciprocating that energy and acknowledging it to claim your knowledge, to claim your sacred geometry wisdom, to claim your discernment inside of this for you to embody and accelerate this into what you desire. So it's not simply reviewing and reflecting. You may hear this a lot around the solstice, let's have a bit of reviewing and reflecting, meditating, opening our crown chakra, letting the light in, or whatever it may be. And, that's awake, old paradigm. That is transcending into awake, new paradigm, okay? In that reciprocation and understand the individuality of your sacred geometry points and activations, okay? Very bespoke to you and your sacred geometry reality world, very bespoke to you in how those move together in unison, just like any relationship, right? Every relationship is unique. Any love relationship, you have the relationship you have with yourself, children, the whole thing, okay? So it's not simply reviewing and reflecting, okay? Because that is indulgence, right? We can review and reflect, but if we are not reciprocating and activating what our sacred geometry activations, messages, channels are given to us in a very clear form, that is not going to activate the creation of bringing in the fullness of that acceleration, that potential, okay? So it's acting on what it is giving you, even if it feels petrifying, okay? Knowing that you're supported in love, choosing love, not fear, okay? Inside of that. So it's simply reviewing and reflecting is not it, okay? It's got to be acting. So what is it that you wish to act on right now? What is that you're not acting on? That door that you want opened up for you, okay? That knowledge, wisdom, or discernment you want revealed to you. And what is the thing that you could act on right now knowing what you know there, right? What is it that you could act on right now that you're not acting on? Okay, and it's like, if you don't have to do it, at least acknowledge it, okay? At least acknowledge your sacred geometry in that love, okay? And you could even act on it, okay? And you're very much supported inside of that, okay? So it's moving from simply reviewing, reflecting to acting, activating, okay? So now you're here. You want to bring one thing. What it's asking here, let me just get the message clear, is there's something you're believing in here, which is a lie, what we call false straight, false, F-A-L-S-E, false, a lie, not self, not you. What is that one thing you're believing that you think is not really true, but you are believing in it right now? Okay, identify that. Just pick something. Don't get stuck on it, right? Because it's all connected in the sacred geometry, so you can't pick the wrong thing. What is one thing, okay, that you're believing right now? And the solstice activation is now to stop believing in that one thing and to believe that the other thing is actually true. Okay, that is in love and trust. So it's making a choice. I'm going to stop believing in this thing and I'm going to believe in this thing, right? Because the other is actually true. So what is that for you? Okay, exciting stuff. Okay, and really be with this. If you're with this in an integrated way, in that reciprocation, that's why it's going to give something to you. This is why I'm not just giving you a la-di-da, lots of nice messages. This is a solstice, blah, 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 right? I'm giving you something you can actually utilize and activate into creation now, okay? So you get to do that from you to you with you. If you're inside of Liberate Me at any level of experience, you can bring in everything you downloaded from this and get your personal activations and channels and messages from your sacred geometry and what's coming through for you. Absolutely. Let's accelerate this. If you're not, you can be with this. And if you want a little bit more, you can get to know what your sacred geometry signature is and what's happening in your macro sacred geometry to open that door, to get the reveal that you want to get, the knowledge you want, the clarity you want, get that reveal, and move away from reviewing and reflecting and into acting and what that's going to take for you and what might be holding you back. Okay. So it's also not about getting still. Okay. And listening, because there's a lot here in the awake old paradigm of self-help, spirituality, mentoring, psychology, whatever it may be, about getting still and listening. Okay. And that's beautiful and greatly intentioned, but that would be too generic. You need to hear your soul designed sacred geometry messages, that knowledge, that wisdom to be revealed to you. Okay. and not any imposters, because we have something called a false trait signature within all of us and a root rune signature that is running. Some of you will know that depending where you are in Liberate Me. Some of you won't know that, but you'll get to know that. So get clear on where that is coming from. Okay. If you're inside of Liberate Me, I can read that for you and show you how to read that for yourself. If you're on the outside, you can come to us to get some direction and we can show you the way. Okay. But be aware of that at the very least. As on this solstice, there are key choice sacred geometry points. Key choice. So, what are the choices that are facing you right now? Okay, what are choices that you're not even acknowledging, or what choice is here for you now that you might be avoiding? Okay, whatever it is, it's okay. But there's a key choice sacred geometry points, and you can now activate through your choices from your sacred geometry inner creation authority. It's a cosmic starlight, okay, that's activating the sacred geometry energy from your inner creation authority. We all have a different one inside of your sacred geometry, and how that works bespoke to you is putting that starlight on. So the macro sacred geometry and your sacred geometry reality world and the unseen start to bring in what's yours to receive, creating that pathway. Okay, that's what's happening. And that's what's yours to receive. It's a true window here. Okay, a true window here of activation that is here now to use to get what it wants to reveal to you personally. And if we all get into our soul design and our sacred geometry, it's an ecosystem. It's in the highest good of all. Okay, so if you're not stepping into something because you're thinking, oh, I need someone's permission, or I'm not, or I don't want to let someone else down. It's in the highest good of all. It's true love. And it's here to unlock the potential right now of your soul memory and of your sacred geometry truths and claim what's yours to have, that you deserve to have, right? To come into your life, as it will take you where you want, or even better. So even if you don't know that's what you want, okay, because we can be that in our blinders. If we're in the old paradigm of the awake world, even the woke world, plenty of blinders on there, okay, with what's moving now in the sacred geometry. And even furthermore, in the old paradigm, in the patriarchy world, the world we know, right? Okay. And none of these things are bad. You can still be with all of these worlds. We're not shutting them down. There is a way of being with it now, and upgrade with your sacred geometry that is going to allow it to accelerate into what you want it to be. So it's not about, oh, this world's bad and I have to get out this world. It's nothing to do with that. Okay. It's about, who am I being in my purpose inside of this world for it to activate what I desire, or even better. So it will take you where you want to go, as long as you follow it and reciprocate it. And notice the choice points in your sacred geometry. This is huge, where we get to choose love or fear. Okay. So look at your choice right now and look at the choice that you're thinking of going for. And is that choice coming from fear because you're afraid of stepping into what is loving yourself correctly, okay, or loving your sacred geometry correctly, and doing what it's asking you to do in that acting, okay? Or is that from love? Okay, fear or love? If you don't know and you're inside of Liberate Me, you can come here. If you don't know, you're not inside of Liberate Me, we can give you some direction for sure inside of your sacred geometry, okay? So, because choosing from love, okay, so moving away from for those that are in the spiritual world and into spirituality or anything like that, or the esoteric, moving away from all of that in many ways, because a lot of that, I don't like to use toxic spirituality, but it's just become separated into, that's why I'm calling it the old paradigm of the awake world, and there's a new paradigm now, which is all about love. It's a love frequency, because that is the highest creation frequency that activates your sacred geometry, and that means choosing trust. So if you're believing in fear, it's moving to believing in love. If you're believing in non-trusting your sacred geometry in your soul in favor of something that comes from fear, it's about choosing that trust. It's not being in between anymore. It's like, I choose one and I believe in that and I embody that fully. And then you can get the full acceleration from this. And it's trusting what is here for you in your sacred geometry world. Okay. It's very real, and going for it. Leaping into love. Okay. Love with yourself, not loving yourself like self-love, like the old paradigm awake world, or loving yourself like the old paradigm patriarchy world, through a lot of so-called success on the surface, but inside misery. Okay, this is brand new. That will have you evolve and have you move into a new paradigm. Okay, so that potential that is yours is here. Now, there is a divide. I've been talking about it along with the way. There is a divide here, and it's really important to look at these divides and where you are inside of that, not to judge yourself, but say, it looks like I'm in here and I want to jump to here. Okay, you get to choose. Okay, so there is a divide here now of those that are awake, okay, and those that are asleep. Okay, and feeling yourself, am I awake or am I asleep? Or am I somewhere in the middle? So then where do I want to choose? Do I want to choose to be awake to my sacred geometry no matter what? Or do I want to choose to be asleep? Choose one, right? Because otherwise you're just suffering, okay? So there's awake and there is asleep in the old paradigm, that we have a responsibility to activate that collective. So if you are awake and you can feel a lot, all right, you're going to be able to feel a lot, or you may even just feel an inkling of this inside. It's a knowing and a feeling, all right, that we've sort of put down to like, oh, that's not to be trusted, only logic is to be trusted, but this is to be trusted. And there's another division that comes in clear too, and within those that are in that awake world or community or reach that level, not that it's about levels, is not one's better than the other per se, but we are all at different levels, of course. Okay, so there is a divide around the choice point in your sacred geometry. What are your choice points in your sacred geometry to choose the new paradigm in love? That excludes nobody, nowhere in the world, no way of living at all. And it understands that negative energy, feelings, situations, circumstances, inside, outside, chaos, whatever it may be, is not bad. It's never really been bad. Nothing is actually broken, right? In our world, with us, or outside our world. All the things that we think, oh my God, all these terrible things that happen in the world. But actually, nothing is really broken if we come into our creative selves. So they are power sources for creation. Okay. So I don't know if anyone's here. Okay. All right. I have to drink. Wow. Okay. I'm not sure how long YouTube Live lets me go on, but I'm going to give it to you all today. Okay. So we could be here, right? And you can pause and you can come back later and get more and more. Each time you be with this, you're loving yourself correctly and just getting more and more creation and more delivered to you. Okay. So give yourself that. Okay, so choose love in the new paradigm. Where are you not choosing love? Where are you choosing love? Okay, so negative energy is not bad. It's really about understanding that. Okay, so it is the power sources for creation for you and those in the old paradigm of the awake world. Okay, so the awake world is those that you may be stuck in spiritual practices, and these spiritual practices, law of attraction, new age spirituality, crystal, anything like that. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Okay, it's just that there's an upgrade to that. There's a new way of being with that. Okay, so it's not about putting those things down. That's not what this is about. Okay, everything is in love here. So that is the old paradigm of awake, stuck in those spiritual practices. And actually, if you look at it, that is where we are demanding that we feel good all of the time. Otherwise, something is wrong. And the universe should simply hand us things to us without any serious reciprocation or understanding. And yet, in a new joyful way, there is a new paradigm available to the awake. And even if you're not awake and you're totally asleep, or you're asleep in the awake world, it doesn't matter. You can wake up at any point, right? Right? So you get to choose, and you get to leap, quantum leap, skip steps, whatever it is, you get to choose to open this up. Or what would happen is that you'll be clinging onto old structures, old practices in the spiritual, self-help, psychology, mentoring world, or the old school success world of, I've got to get an education, do a course, incrementally make progress, be very logical, be very consistent, get up early, I've got to exercise, I've got to have a clear mind, whatever it is, all these things, right? That are no longer serving us, okay? In this new paradigm in the sacred geometry, where you get to activate things with a lot more potency and a lot more ease, joy, as the star that we really are. So ultimately, in those practices, they have no impact, okay, on creation anymore. Okay, they had limited impact on creation as it was. They're more for comfortability. So they are for being comfortable and what feels familiar. And so right now it's like, do I want comfortable and what feels familiar? That's a choice. I can believe in that. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. No shade. Or do I want what does not feel comfortable and familiar? Because that is a divide that is forming. Okay. And even within the awake community. So the activation right now, creation activation in the solstice, is to let go of those old structures, those practices that are comfortable and familiar, but don't actually create what you desire, or even better, truly. Okay. So that's what this is about. Okay. Any questions, please feel free to put them through now, later, as clients, as non-clients. We're here for you. Okay. Because this is big stuff, new stuff. Okay. Not always easiest to understand off the get-go, but knowing you, if you're watching this, you're feeling this, and it's awakening you, then good for you. Then it's for you in a big way, right? So the activation is to let go of old structures. So what old structures are you holding on to right now? Answer that, write it down, feel it, think it, breathe it, let it into your being, that you are consciously going to or want to release. So what is it that you're holding on to? And recognize when you're being pulled into that fear-based false trait construct. Okay, recognize you're going that way and simply go the opposite way in this solstice. Okay, go the opposite way. Be with yourself, go the opposite way. What does that mean? That means choose to fight the old paradigm energies in you. And it is a fight at the start, especially, okay, as you're ascending and it's activating, where you're coming in the lead of these false energies, okay? It is a bit of a fight, okay? And that is the reciprocation, coming into your warrior-like being, okay? So choose to fight the old paradigm energies. How could you do that right now? What's one word for who you could be right now, what you could enjoy right now about that? What's one thing you could do about that right now? Okay, to fight the old paradigm energies in you, okay, that exists inside of you, all those feelings that are going on and emotions that are very, very useful, okay? Okay, when we see what they're here for, and in your environment, what you're experiencing. So this is the divide now, that you get to choose. These are the sacred geometry choice points that I'm talking about, okay? So you get to choose the point you are in. Choose the path of love 1,000 times throughout the day. And some love and fear points, can be very subtle and can trick you. So having your sacred geometry signature, your matrix, right there in your pocket, and access your sacred geometry world to get that as answers and that clarity is, phenomenal, life-changing. Okay, so getting access to that matrix is everything, and utilizing it. Okay, if you have some access to it, then you're getting to utilize it at the different levels that you're upgrading into to receive more and more of your potential. Okay, so if you're inside of Liberate Me, you get to utilize this, you get to ask, okay, with everything you're being with. And if you're not, you get to open yourself up to this for the first time, but it's always been with you. It's nothing that it's just going to bring light. And the solstice is going to bring that light onto it, okay? So some of those fear points can be very subtle and trick you. So having your sacred geometry signature and access to that matrix is how you embody and how you collaborate, okay? So it's important that we collaborate, reciprocation, collaboration, harmony, harmonization, okay, with our sacred geometry reality world. Micro inside of us, macro, right, on the outside, okay? That's been made for us in the soul, and we collaborate with that, and it starts moving. So with your sacred geometry world and the highest energies for I mean, literally, they are the highest energies of creation of your life to receive the potential and create. At the moment, you have an opportunity in this solstice to create a complete, I mean a complete life overhaul. So what would that life overhaul look like for you? What is that? What is that intention around that? Okay. And or a complete relationship overhaul, a complete location overhaul. Okay. Where so much is shifting right now in these energies supporting you. Now is the time to pay attention to where is your force trait, habit, programming triggering you to stay stuck in that fear. Where is it trying to have you stay in delay? And that it is trying to trigger you to hold on to the old and consciously now get in the lead of that and let go of that. It's allowing your sacred geometry to guide you perfectly in what is meant for you in this new paradigm in your life. It is a powerful time to choose joy. Okay, so where are you choosing joy right now? Where are you choosing to follow your bliss? Where are you choosing to follow your bliss? Okay, where I answer that question, I'm repeating it to be answered. Okay, so where are you choosing to follow your bliss right now? Follow joy. Okay, and where are you not following your joy and your bliss, and why not? Because that would be the four straight reasons on that logic that are protectors keeping parts of you in exile that require to be transcended to bring in what you're here to receive. So instead, okay, follow your joy and bliss. Okay, choose that in that choice point in the sacred geometry and lean in to the simple beauties of that logic and that pain and that fear to transcend it so it no longer rules your life. Okay, so it is simple beauties and really to embrace the simple beauties, the joy or big beauties and big joys and the pleasures of life. Okay, that will be creation activators for you right now. Follow your bliss, follow your joy, get into some pleasure. Okay, really simple. All right. So it's looking for the good, the true, and the beautiful inside of all of these situations, feelings, emotion, fears, depressions, anxieties, whatever, all and the good stuff, right? Inside of you right now, within you and around you. Okay. And see that they're not actually negative. They're just trying to rule your world in that way. Okay. And it's seeing through your sacred geometry lens that you get to with the truth to get your personalized creation activators to step back and go into observer mode of what are you experiencing that you are doing or not doing. And instead, you want to emotionally elevate, unhook, make it not matter the way force traits, the lies, the fear, want to make it matter to get to the sacred geometry activator, especially in this point in the solstice to propel you. There is a new way, right, to empower yourself in these choice points and certain situations, feelings, decisions that used to pull you into the chaotic energy or panic energy or fear energy or stuck energy or may no longer do so. So you have the opportunity of what used to pull you into this, like, oh my God, this would explode me right now. I'd run for the hills, I'd hide, or I would get in a chaotic energy. I would start blaming, getting triggered. You have you have the opportunity right now for that no longer to happen, right? Which is pretty cool. By observing the sacred geometry, the message the activator in your signature and the micro sacred geometry, sorry, the macro, right? And your micro, the two together. All right. And as it comes in, as you get these messages, as those doors open. So notice the doors are already opening at the moment or peeking. Okay, you're peeking through, or you're letting yourself through. What is the knowledge, wisdom that you want revealed to you? Okay, what is it that you want to go into action around? Okay, to actually act on it. Okay, what is it that you could act on, what's not acting on right now? What are those choice points? Okay, and are you making that choice from love or fear? Okay, you want it to come from love. Choose love, right? You can choose the other side, and that's okay. All right. This is for those that really want to accelerate, expedite. Okay. So if that's you, claim that. Okay. So, and as those messages come in, as those doors open, as that choice points are there, have gratitude for it. Wherever they're coming from, show that gratitude, show that love, give that love, be that love, be love in humor, right? Be love in all kinds of ways to every single body, every single location, yourself, all over the place. Judgment is non-existent anymore, okay? In the awake new paradigm. Okay, so excitement and joy for the real choice points. Okay, you get to choose now. I stop believing in this and I start believing in this, but what is actually true, what is in love. Okay, and what you give, you receive at the moment. What you give, you receive. Okay, we've got this thing in our, we don't want to give, we don't want to be too generous, we want to have boundaries. Boundaries are so old paradigm awake world, okay, that keeps us in a so-called comfortability and managing, but it's very controlling, and they're not needed in the sacred geometry world. You get to transcend that, okay, and give and you receive, because we're actually collective. So if we're putting boundaries up, you're putting walls up to everyone and everything, and your sacred geometry and what wants to come in for you, okay? So anyway, I digress. Keep on. I'm going to keep on the point, and there's lots more here to give you. So I hope you can hang out for longer, or you can pause it, come back later, dip in, dip out, whatever feels good to you. Okay. So the choice points, what you give is what you receive right now. So what are you holding back on giving right now? What are you holding back on giving? Because you're like, well, I don't want to give because then I might not receive. What is that for you? Notice that so it can be transcended. And your sacred geometry signature is truly your muse to light the way. It will bring a flutter of excitement and fear. Fear and excitement can feel like the same thing as well, and actually change your world into who your world was always meant to be. Okay, so already pre-created, and that creation comes into play, into force. It's a force bigger than us, right? We just have to honor it, facilitate it, love it correctly, give to it, and it will give back. And we get into harmonious movement with it. Okay, so there's a couple of powerful creation activators here now, okay, that are going to allow you to activate potentials. Okay, so this is important. Okay, I'm just going to have a sip of water. I say sip, but I mean gulp. Right, to replenish and revive your life force energy. That is the activator right now. That is a potential to replenish and receive your life force energy. Okay, you have the ability to welcome this, and we do this through sorry, we do not, okay, I just want to make this clear, right? Because this is the old paradigm awake world. Nothing wrong with this, but you want to be with it in a new way. So it doesn't mean you have to throw all of these things out, okay? But we do not do this through meditation, through stillness and sleep. That's the old world awake paradigm, okay? The old paradigm awake, okay? Or whichever way you want to look at it. Now we have a new paradigm of awake in your sacred geometry signature, your sacred geometry world, in the solstice energy. Incredible, okay? Because if you go into meditation, stillness, and sleep and sit there, and that's comfortability and familiarity. Okay, or you go into logic and planning and pushing and shoving and making things happen, as we were taught in the patriarchy world, which is another type of old paradigm. You can be in those worlds, okay? That's not what this is about. We want to be with it in a new way, because actually what that's doing is offloading the creation energy, right? So you have a new way, okay, where you get not to offload that creation energy. Instead, you do this through reciprocation, okay? Activation, movement, going against the comfortability of meditation, sleep, stillness, wishing, praying, or whatever it may be. But you feel that way all of the time. Okay, whatever you're experiencing, good, bad, ugly, you have that in you in the way you be with things, okay, and activate them. As you too ascend, it's a natural becoming into who you're here to be and how you're here to operate. So it's not something we need to practice. Okay, we talk about having practices. We don't require practices. We are creators. We are star beings. Okay. We're just not being in our being and our purpose of our being. So coming into that allows that to happen naturally and authentically and actually activates creation. Okay. Actually allows you to enter who you're here to be. And so eventually, even when in this solstice state, okay, or even when you're excited, okay, and you're not in a still or meditative state, for example, maybe you're staying up and you're not being asleep and you're saying yes to fun and joy, yet you are still in this meditative sleep still state in your way of being. There's something you'll notice it as you start to transcend into it. You'll notice it. Others may even start noticing it about you. Okay, as you activate your sacred geometry. So it is awake. Okay, it's kind of a still meditative sleep state, alive. Okay, and awake in the new paradigm, and it is phenomenal. Okay, for creation and activating on steroids what is yours to receive. And it removes all control, meditation, stillness, all of these things, right? There are levels of control. Okay, and that may sound weird, and you can ask me questions about that for your sacred geometry and what that means for you, but it's very, very true. Okay. Because we're demanding to feel good and get what we want simultaneously, right? Rather than just feeling good about everything, essentially. Okay. Once we come into who we're here to be, the stars shine on us, the sun shines on us, the solstice is going to bathe onto everyone. It's up to us if we choose to receive that love and open up to it and be that love ourselves, right? Because we're also stars. It doesn't have conditional love. Okay. It's unconditional love. And it removes all that control. It doesn't demand anything in a certain way of being. And it's also what brings the replenishing life force and the creation opportunity through your so it's not that traditional deep stillness meditation or, leaving the world and going off to retreating or anything like that. It's being in the world. Okay. Right. And it doesn't require you leaving your experiences or the world, which is not broken, contrary to popular belief. Neither are you. Okay. But it's giving you the creation energies you require to transcend and utilize and reciprocate. Okay. Not run away from, not fight as such. Okay. And yet it has the same feeling in it. You become it. You don't need to practice it. Okay. And it's in that movement, activating all of it. This is when your sacred geometry comes online. So your sacred geometry reality world can hand over what is yours to receive in big chunks. It's not about being centered, being clear, having a clear mind, an open heart, feeling focused, feeling secure, feeling safe. You can have the opposite feeling, okay, as do or choose love, okay, and feel centered in that as your sacred geometry transcends. It becomes a norm as you come into who you're here to be and how you're here to operate as you activate your sacred geometry signature and use this solstice energy, and you get to accelerate that right now. And the way you activate more and more, no matter what your internal or external circumstances are, is knowing that you have this whole new paradigm, you have this whole new matrix that is working on your behalf, and your soul will reveal everything to you. And recollaborating with your micro and macro sacred geometry sources using this solstice force, this will explode and accelerate and expedite. Especially, I hate using time because time's a bit of an illusion, right? Because everything is happening in parallel. It's already happened, right? It's already created, but it would explode for you in the next 6 months. Okay. Now, immediately, but we're talking about big things. Okay. The big things it's seriously amplified creation. So it's also, in the old paradigm awake world, there's a lot about intuition. No more intuition. In the new paradigm awake, you want to check in with very specific sacred geometry points, reciprocate them, and activate them. Take that action, act on it, right? And that opens the doors and has stuff being handed over to you and stuff being revealed to you. Okay. Bespoke to use, bespoke to your design. So no generic, nice ideas, ceremonies, retreats. It's nice. I'm not saying you cannot be with those things or do those things. You want to be with it in a new way with your sacred geometry. Okay. So we're not rejecting all of those worlds and all those things and saying, hey, there's something better over here. It's not about that. Okay. It's about being with this in a new way, just like any development and involvement. So, yes, it will feel like healing, but healing in the awake new paradigm is a misnomer. There's no such thing as healing. It's not a thing, because we are not broken and we don't need fixing. We're just utilizing all of our feelings, all those things we think are broken, to create those upgrades. So the creation energy's power, just like in the cosmos, okay, in the same way as stars, Big Bang, you name it. But you are not broken. The earth is not broken. The cosmos, the universe is not broken. And the truth is, you're simply coming into unison right now with who you are here and who you are designed to operate. And now in unison with your team. Yeah. So you can get to be a diva here, right? You have a team. You have your sacred geometry team that you want to utilize and work with, that have it done, that have it sorted already. So this is where you come into your tuning fork, okay, with the solstice, much easier to do, okay, to your sacred geometry and get what you desire, or even better, because it's all pre-prepared for you. It's kind of like, excuse me, here's one I made earlier. Okay, so there is a gateway. Okay, oh, there's some chats here. The voice of it. Emily, hello. Hey, Anita, just found this. It's 1:30 a.m. So might watch tomorrow. You worked with me in 2019 and it's still coming true. I love you, Emily. Wow. Oh my gosh. In Bali, channeled a statement. My music would change the world. Oh my God. What? And now I'm studying Celtic shamanism and starting my own group singing circles. Wow, I love you, Emily. Amazing. Sorry, I digress because I just saw the chat. I'm new to YouTube Live, so I got excited. Beautiful to have you here. I think Kelly's here as well. Hi, Kelly, if that is you. Anyway, okay. So your sacred geometry has it sorted. So this is where you come into tuning that fork in your sacred geometry to get what you desire, or even better, is pre-prepared for you. And right now, what is important for you to know is that there is a gateway, okay? There is a gateway to receive, okay? Now, like a lotus to the sun, rather than trying to force something to appear under certain conditions and demanding it to appear, so demanding to feel safe as you make these choice points in your sacred geometry under this solstice, is not coming from love. That's coming from fear. Or demanding to feel focused when you make these choice points in your sacred geometry is not coming from love. Okay, that's coming from fear. Or demanding to have things only if they feel doable for you, or you can get the validation or permission of someone else, or you can convince someone else to get their back up for you to do something. Again, not coming from love. Okay, that's coming from fear. Because this is not love, this is a noise that trust. Okay, so it's a false trait trick. Don't fall for it. Okay, is what the message is. You cannot just receive, okay, through our chakras or through any grounding in that old paradigm awake. Nothing wrong with that. It's just being with it in a new way. Okay, some of you will transcend out of that completely and evolve and no longer require that because it served its purpose. And that's okay, right? Okay, yet you can bring it together if that's in your sacred geometry. Okay, so the awake divide that is coming in right now in the solstice into its highest magic creation activation, and that is in reciprocation, where there is no generic divine, if you like, or the cosmos, or the intelligence, the divine intelligence in a generic way. It's very bespoke to you and your sacred geometry. Very, very, very bespoke. Okay, so it is not it's not I am the light, I am divine, I am opening up. That's going to keep us comfortable. It's the familiar from the awake old paradigm world, and in the other old world where that isn't even available, it's more I'm going to plan things and I'm going to make it happen logically. That is not it. Okay, that's the comfortability of the those two old paradigm worlds, okay? And it's about a new paradigm of awake here. So good news, there's good news in this, is it's far simpler and it works, okay? It's beyond order. It is unorthodox. It's different, but it's a lot more fun, right? It's wickedly simple and it works as you work with it in a love partnership, in relationship to it. So to end today, okay, probably another, oh, let's see how we go. I can't stop now. All the messages are coming through. So I'm gonna keep going for the last part of this. And feel free to drop off, come back on later, drop in, drop out, put comments later, reach out with whatever's coming through for you. I love to hear from you. Yeah, if your client's beautiful, if you're not, we will put something in the description for you to get your sacred geometry signature. If you're not already a client, if you're already a client, take all of this, take all your downloads, all your channels from it, take it to your sacred geometry signature. I will give you any channels, activations as your personal guide to your soul design matrix, your sacred geometry matrix, and everything that's moving for you here. Okay, from you to me to you. It's always from you, right? Just the facilitator and the activator here in my purpose of being, in my soul contract, in my soul design IP mission. I'm honoring that in love. Okay. So anyway, let's wrap up this solstice potent activation up. Definitely giving you more than 5 things, I'm sure. Right? So essentially, and I really want you, if you can, to let this land on a deeper level than ever before. Okay. It's just not a nice thing to say. It's actually really true. Okay. You are the curator. You are the curator. You are the star, the superstar. Okay. There's no ego in that. Okay. You have to go inside. Okay. To create from within that micro sacred geometry. You have to use your emotions for what they are here for, okay? Not for what the conditioning of what the external world is telling you this means, okay? What they were meant for, negative feelings, circumstances, emotions, feelings, all of that inside and what's happening in your environment, okay? It's all happening for you, not to always. Your sacred geometry is created an environment internally, externally in your environment to create beauty. So even if it doesn't always feel like beauty or look like beauty, it is beauty, right? As you transcend it, you'll see the beauty within it, the gift within it. So all of this is really important. If we don't know how to control, if you like, okay, control in a good way, okay, not control in a full, straight, egotistical way, or a controlling way, but control in a good way. If we don't know how to utilize control and be in harmony with our internal environment and our external environment, it will mess us up. It will give us what we require to get what we desire, okay? That's not a bad thing, but you want to move through that as quick as you can. Okay. It's kind of like, I've had this before. I'm getting what I require. I'm getting this challenge again. Like, what am I not getting here? The answers are all in your sacred geometry. Okay. So we have to stop believing in the false straight lies and start believing in something else. The truth from your sacred geometry. And that is so important right now as we've gone through this. Okay. We've gone through what doors are you wanting open for you right now? What are those reveals of knowledge, wisdom, clarity that you're wanting from your sacred geometry right now? What are those choice points for you right now? Are you choosing from fear or love? Okay, in your sacred geometry, are you acting on it and working in unison with it in that reciprocation? That's a quick overview. If you've just joined, go through this. Like, there's so much magic inside of this for you, I hope. Okay. So we have to decide a choice point to stop believing in one thing and believe in another. And that's it, right? No, like flitting between the two, because that's just suffering. Okay. And you start believing something else. And that is very important right now. And not just something else willy-nilly, the truth, okay, from your sacred geometry. So with that, you will, if you do not, right, but if you stay in the middle or believe the false thing, or you don't do that, you will suffer, of course, because it's in that tension energy of trying to move you from the negative frame to the positive frame through creation as it works. So it causes more of that tension energy, which is creation energy. It's not a bad thing. It's beautiful. It's happening, and you can utilize it at any time. In this solstice, you've got a very special opportunity to accelerate this. So this is about creating you. Okay, we don't need to focus on what we can get from the external world. This is about creating you, from you, through you. You are a creator. Okay, we never needed to get it from the external world. It was always from the internal world, and now we're just all cracking onto that. In that old paradigm world, that old structure of working for the system and feeling stuck, imprisoned inside of that, in institutions, the corporate world, whatever it may be. And you can still be in that world. It's just being with it in a new way, in a sacred geometry way. We're not rejecting anything here. And the old paradigm of the awake world, okay, where you're in that comfortability, that familiarity of doing practices and things like that, it's not creating you. It's not activating you into who you're here to be, and then therefore activating that creation of what you're here to receive. So it's time. Okay, it's time to focus on what that is going to look like for you. What are those doors you want to open up for you right now and accelerate? Okay. And you have to reciprocate that in your sacred geometry. And the message is clear. Right now, those that choose to do that in the awake of the new paradigm, inside your sacred geometry, inside of this solstice, you will burst out everywhere, right? You will explode everywhere. Creation will explode. You will see the superstar you are. No ego inside of that at all. Becoming who we're here to be is, we have a responsibility inside of that, right? Because that allows a whole soul design ecosystem to move. Okay, so you will meet your future self that is already here in that sacred geometry world. So-called future self, so-called future life, and you will get how high you can go with that reciprocation with your sacred geometry. So don't waste all of those emotions, circumstances, experiences that you're having that might feel negative in your internal environment, your external environment. They are legitimate, but not really real. They're here for you to utilize in a certain way. Okay. So it's really important to investigate, to use those emotions as the creation keyboard they are. Don't spend too much time in the false straight, okay, in the fear of them, letting them rule your world, letting them be in the lead and making choices from fear, because that will be limited, okay, inside this solstice. This is how you upgrade automatically. So once we can understand this as true, okay, this is true and this is not true. Making that choice now is the new paradigm of awake. But it takes transcendence, right, to grasp this. So getting your sacred geometry signature, your sacred geometry soul design reading, and saying yes to and stepping into the fruition of it, coming inside and experiencing in Liberate Me, for example, is how that really happens, okay? So that's available wherever you are inside of this, okay? Clients, you get to download it of this. We get to give you your creation activators. Non-clients, if you've got your sacred geometry signature and you're reading, you get to make a different choice right now, okay, to step into more of what is here for you, okay? Inside of all of this, completely new to this, reach out, get your sacred geometry signature and your reading details. I'm sure will be in the box below, okay? Or find a way. Get activated, take action, right? Go into that reciprocation. So the transcendence is required to grasp that. And that's why we give this experience as you come in to Liberate Me. We give everything. We hold nothing back. Remember, what you give is what you receive, right? We talked about this earlier. So boundaries on that and things like that, not good. Not in the new paradigm of awake, where it's in love. Liberate Me is moving away from the word spirituality as such, because it's so associated with the old paradigm of the awake world. Not that there's anything wrong with it, okay? Words are words. We're just trying to help show that harmonization, that movement that is happening inside this, especially inside of this solstice. So activate that and have a strong intention. We talked about intention, right? What doors do you want to open right now? The solstice wants to open those doors. The sacred geometry wants to open the doors to you. You have to be in reciprocation with that, to new ways of being, new ways of enjoying, new ways of doing, new ways of receiving and having. Okay, so have intention behind that and choose. Okay. And intent really is a choice. Okay. So it is the intention behind the choice that is the choice, right? The intention behind the choice that is the choice. So if you're making a choice to step into your sacred geometry and activate what's here for you and utilize this solstice energy to accelerate things, what is your intention behind that choice? What is it that you're desiring? What is those doors that you are wanting opening? That is the choice you're making. You're saying yes to that, or even better. Okay. So then it's pretty easy. And that is truth. Okay. So, all right, let's see. We can wrap this up soon. All right. I'm going to pause here for a second. I can see another comment. I want to read it. Jeremy, hello, my love. Open the doors to receiving the clients ready to create architectural projects that harmonize the environment and transmute all the powerful energy in the world today. Activate inner wisdom. Yes, 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 yes. Beyond order leader. You are indeed. Love you, Jeremy. Oh my gosh, so nice to have you here as well. So exciting. Okay, let's give you these last pieces. Okay, I keep saying last pieces, there's so much coming through. We will wrap this up, hopefully on the 90 minutes, if not before. Okay, there's a lot of cool energy here. So having a strong intention behind your choice is the choice, just like Jeremy demonstrates so beautiful there. That is the choice. They saw something even better. Okay, so it's opening your heart. Okay, anything else closes off your heart, closes off your soul. So part of my work in my purpose of my being is to open up your heart and your soul to creation and your being to receive and see what you can't see and activate the hell out of it. Okay, and I do that diligently, with the utmost love, not in any selfishness as such, that because obviously you can get triggered, you can obviously shoot the messenger. Right, but I will give it to you straight because I love you too much not to. Okay, in your sacred geometry. So I understand what you're going through. I live this, I breathe this, I activate all these layers. I'm not sitting here with the perfect, I mean, that would be totally against sacred geometry, to have a perfect existence and not have any, that would be awake old paradigm. Anyway, I understand what you're going through, that feeling, when you're feeling like, when is the light going to shine on me? The solstice is here. The light gets to shine on you. But you want it to do more than the old paradigm awake, just for it to shine on you, comfortability, familiarity, a bit of review. That's nice, right? But that doesn't activate that much creation. Or the patriarchal paradigm, which again, the solstice shines on everyone. It's unconditional love. Okay. But it is about making movement in the point of feeling fear, right? Feeling fear, feeling like I don't feel secure right now. Okay, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I've got the focus or the clarity, but my sacred geometry is saying, yes, move now. Okay, so it's in that point of transcendence that is the most potent point. Okay, it's not to wait until you feel clear and secure and safe and everything is aligned. That's not when to wait. Don't wait for that. That's from fear, right? Not from love. And that's when the most character building happens. Okay, the character building of who you're really here to be. And as we come into who we're really here to be, we come into a frequency to receive, and is the most creation building time. Okay, so you don't want to offload that. Okay, there's many levels to this, but it's a matter of recognizing when things are out of control, right? Inside or outside, a little bit or a lot, depending where you are on that spectrum right now. This is when you really require to create a relationship with your higher power, with your sacred geometry, soul design signature. Okay. Because what your sacred geometry and the solstice energy in that macro is really trying to say here is chill the out. Okay, I'm not going to swear because I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on YouTube, but chill out. I have already got you. Okay, it's already done, it's already pre-created. So reciprocate with me. Okay, just reciprocate with me and we've got this done. Yet we are afraid to connect with our soul code future self. Okay, that thriving self. And it's already doing all of those things in the sacred geometry reality world. That's why we feel it. That's why we long for it. We yearn for it. Otherwise, we wouldn't. We're not crazy. You're not ungrateful for your life and what you've got. Okay. It's because you're here to receive that. You're designed. So the sacred geometry world is happening at the same time in parallel with whatever you're experiencing. Okay. So that future self is already here. It's kind of just waiting for you. And it's like, hey, are you going to get on board? So are you going to get on board? That is the question. Okay. Answer in the comments. Yes, I'm going to get on board with my sacred geometry, with the solstice energy, with a piece of this, with a little bit of this, a medium-sized bit of this, a whole chunk of this. It's up to you. Okay. You get to choose. It is those choice points, right, that we were talking about. So all the fears you have, all that is doing is creating a wall between you and your future self, if you like, which is really your now self in that sacred geometry reality world and the unseen that just wants to hand it over to you. Okay, so it's like being afraid of yourself or running from your own shadow, right? We can't do that. So you get to have the life you want or even better, okay? And being open to not having what you want to have even better or something else entirely. Okay, just activate it. The sacred geometry will do the rest for you, like it's saying. So release those fears is what sacred geometry macro sources, especially in this solstice accelerated energy that is happening right now or from tomorrow onwards, depending where you are in the world. Okay, release those fears, it is saying, because it is saying, the message it is giving me to give to you is release those fears or let them be there and elevate above them, because I have got you. And tell yourself, I've got you. I've got you, right? So as soon as you release that fear, you become one with your future self, your sacred geometry that already has everything for you. So your fears are not real, right? We hear that, but do we reciprocate that? They are not a way of committing to your sacred geometry and your future self that's actually your now self and already created, and it just wants to come in, but it just requires you to hold its hand. Okay, so the fears are just all the excuses, okay, they're legitimate, I get it, right? But they are full straight or from fear. They are lies. And that's why we're very contradictory as human beings. I want to call us human doings when we're contradictory, because we go against what our human being is directing us to do in our sacred geometry in our being. So that's when we sit there and we want something and we procrastinate or we push it away. So now in this solstice energy, it's about inviting that in to say, here, I don't know how to do this. Show me sacred geometry. Show me sacred geometry signature. Show me sacred geometry sources that be how to do this. Show me. Override my ego right now. Override my false straights right now. Override the lies. Override the fears. And the answers come from that acceptance of the change that is here now in this awake world, in the new paradigm. Okay, that there is a divide even from the awake world in the old paradigm. So you do not need to know the ins and outs. The point is, it does not want you to suffer, and it wants to make it simple, because it is simple. Okay, your sacred geometry will be there for you. It is there for you. It's ready and waiting for you to get on board. Okay, to cultivate a relationship with it. And that's what it's saying. Cultivate a relationship with me. And it's saying that you're so busy in fear that you're not even seeing me. So take this seriously, okay? Take this seriously, the messages, but take yourself lightly, right? Okay? We forget the magic that is inside of our sacred geometry, micro sources, macro sources, in the solstice energy. We are powerful. You are powerful, okay? And you can get to live a life that is thriving. It's already thriving in that sacred geometry world. You got to know what you're made of here. Okay, what are you made up of? And your sacred geometry, micro, macro, tells you what you're made of. And no one has been made like you, because you are powerful in your own right. Okay, with a purpose of being, coming into your being of operation here, which you will love, right? It's liberation, okay, is absolutely freaking amazing. Okay. Um, so we are going to end it there. Wow, 1 hour and 19 minutes. The first 4 minutes was me babbling around on the first live of YouTube. So great to have you, Kelly. Hello, my love. Being a pure expressionist. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Thank you for being here. For those of you that have been here live, for parts of it, all of it, or coming in and out. And there's so much here, so many layers to this. It's timeless. So when you come back in, you'll always receive more of what's moving. Also, it comes through so thick and fast, and I can talk pretty fast because it gives it to me fast. Okay, a lot of the time. So allow that. Emily, thank you for being here, beauty. So nice to see you stepping into more of who you're here to be. Love it. Wow. And Jeremy and Kelly, so nice to have you here, my beauties. Okay. Have a beautiful solstice. Allow those doors to open. Choose which doors you want to open, or even better, choose love, not fear. Okay. Choose, if you're believing one thing, notice what you're believing. Believe the other thing that is true from your sacred geometry, as directed by your sacred geometry. And ask yourself what you want to be revealed to you right now. Okay. From your sacred geometry, from that knowledge, wisdom, and clarity, to activate and receive more of those potentials of who you're here to be, what you're here to enjoy, and what you're here to have in big ways and in brand new ways. And understand we're moving from an old world paradigm, more of the patriarchy structure, if you like, okay, the one we all know that our parents had, if you like, into the awake, now old paradigm, into another divide, into the awake new paradigm. Okay, where we work in reciprocation with this to activate all that is here in love, in the highest creation frequency. You are a star, you are love. This is the truth. Okay, I hope this has served you today. Do leave one word on how you're feeling now, okay, or anything you want to share in the box. If you want any more details for anything, you'll find a way to reach out to me. Best way is usually Instagram, and we have WhatsApp there that you can come through straight through there as well. So anything you need, reach out. Clients, you get to be with us, download this, and we get to utilize it even more. Okay, I'm gonna dial off and step into that solstice energy myself in beautiful Nashville right now, and see what it's got to offer in that joy. Remember, it's about stepping into that joy right now, stepping into that bliss right now. Okay, I love you. I hope that's helped you. I'm sending you a ton of love. I'm not entirely sure how to stop this live, so you might see me faffing about a bit. Let's see, because it's in Swedish. My husband is Swedish, and this is in Swedish, so on my laptop for some reason. So I'm going to press something and hope it works. Okay. I love you. This has been Anita of Liberate Me, and thank you so much. It means a lot to me to have you all here listening and activating this, because it's huge and I'm excited for you. Okay, take it easy, and bye-bye for now. I have no idea if that has ended. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, so it looks like I'm still on. Okay, let me see. Note to self, don't have things in Swedish on your first live on YouTube. Okay, hold on. I'm just seeing how to do this. I don't want to press the wrong thing and lose this. So you don't have to watch this bit. Watch this bit, I should say. Okay, yes. Okay, so I'm going to press this now and we should end. Lots and lots of love to you. Thank you for your patience as well. Have a beautiful solstice. Bye-bye. Let's see if that ended. Did it end? Did it end? Yes, okay. Still looks like it's going. If you're here, let me know if you can see this still going because it's still ticking. Okay. I'm just gonna switch. Okay. We're working this out. So I think this is gonna end the live now. So goodbye. Enjoy your solstice. Thanks for your patience.